Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be teaching you something very important, how to restring your electric guitar. Now the reason this is important is because if you can't restring your guitar properly, then you won't be able to play properly. That's just a simple fact. Okay, so the patient for today is a Mexican Fender Telecaster. Okay, so at the headstock end we've got some standard Fender tuners. They're pretty much the same as what you're going to find on most guitars, unless you have like vintage tuners or locking tuners or something like that. But either way, they're pretty easy to figure out, so no big deal. And the Telecaster doesn't have a tremolo or anything like that. It's literally just strings straight through these holes at the back, through the body and up through the saddles. So yeah, it's pretty simple. So without further ado, let's do it. Okay, so for this video I'm going to be using Ernie Ball 9-gauge Super Slinky strings. I like 9-gauge strings because I've got girly little hands, so yeah, they're not too tough for bends and stuff like that, so yeah, cool. Obviously other brands are available, so yeah. Okay, so the reason I'm changing the strings on this guitar is because I actually snapped the high E string, so that's usually a good sort of pointer that you need to put new strings on your guitar. So yeah, what you want to do first is just make sure you loosen all the strings, because in a minute we're going to be cutting them, so yeah, you don't want them to have really too much tension on them in case they sort of ping off and hit you in the eye or something like that. That wouldn't be ideal, would it? And then once we've done that, we just get a sort of nifty little pair of wire clippers just to cut the strings. It helps if they're sharp, of course. These ones aren't the best, but I've had them for a very long time, so that's probably why. Right, so now we just take the strings out of the body. So just push them through, and they should come through the hole at the back. And then with the headstock we just do the same thing, but this time we have to unwind them and then pull them out, he says. Be careful with them though, because they're quite sharp on the ends and you don't really want to sort of cut your hand on some dirty strings. It's just asking for trouble, really. Again, be careful, because that just hit me in the face, so it's definitely possible to get yourself in the eye with these, which is something you do not want to do. Okay, so now we're taking the strings off. Now would be the perfect time to do a little bit of spring cleaning, so to speak. Just those little areas you can't normally get to when the strings are on there. You know, just underneath here by the pickups, fretboard perhaps, if the fretboard's a bit mucky. Just clean some of the grime and all that kind of crap off of there. And then what I like to do is get some of this stuff, which is Big Ben's nut sauce. Funny name, I know. What this stuff basically does is you put it on the nuts here, and it just reduces friction. Basically, it's kind of a lubricant, I guess. So yeah, when you're doing like bends and stuff like that, there's usually a tiny little bit of movement in the strings up at the nut, also down at the bridge as well, but it's generally up at the nut where you have problems. Yeah, so if you lubricate the nut with this stuff, then basically it just stops it from pinging and going out of tune easier. So yeah. Okay, so with the Big Ben's nut sauce, we just take the little syringe, inject a tiny little bit onto the applicator, like so. And then after that, just feed a tiny little bit into each of the little nut slots where the strings go, just to keep them lubricated and free from friction, basically. And then after that, if you feel like it, just put a little bit underneath the string tree as well, just to reduce the friction there. It's not exactly what it's designed for, but I like to do it just for a bit of peace of mind, basically. Clean off any excess. Okay, now for the restringing. Open them up. Chuck that away. Okay, so what we do is just feed the string through the hole, pull it through the other side, And then once it's through on this side, just pull it slightly tight and then press it down here, just so we create a minor, tiny little bend really. Just so the string has a slight bit of memory so it knows where it is. Sounds kind of weird, but makes sense to me. And now onto the business end. So what we do here is we put it in the hole, that's what she said, and just pull it through. Now at this point we need to have a little bit of extra string here just so we can wrap it around the machine head a few times. So what I like to do here is a good rule of thumb anyway, is to grab hold of the string and go up by about 2 machine heads. Yeah, so it's roughly about 2 inches worth of extra string really, and then just feed it back. So we've got a fair bit of slack going on here, and then what I like to do is put a bend in the string, just there, and then just exaggerate it a bit more, just make it a little bit more sharp, like a hairpin corner. That should do. So that's safe as houses now. And now what I'm going to do is be a little bit inventive, a bit like a monkey, and use a tool. This is a string winder. It's not essential at all, to be honest with you. It just sort of saves you getting a bit of a pain in your wrist from sort of repeatedly, turning the machine head round. But like I said, it's not really vitally important. So, okay, so we pull this bit back so the hook is sort of, flush with the machine head basically. Pull it quite tight, and then what I like to do is put my thumb on the string here. Apply a bit of tension first, quite a bit of tension. Place my thumb on the string and then press it down with my finger and really, do it quite hard to hold it in place, and then just tighten the string up. I might just undo that slightly first so there's a bit more room. Yeah, and just tighten up the string. And if the tension does tend to slip, if the tension does slip, just pull it taut again and press it down. So we just carry on going round and round. Ba-doing! Just keep going until the string gets nice and tight. Looks like we're getting there. And then just trim off the excess with a pair of wire clippers. There we go. So now we just do that on every single string, and then we're good to go. Okay, so now all the strings are on there, what we want to do is give them just a good tug, just to sort of stretch them out a bit, get them used to the tension, and yeah, that should be it. After that we'll just tune them up. Okay, so now we've got all the strings on there, all we have to do is just tune everything up and just make sure that it's all stable. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, so now you know how to restring an electric guitar. Thank you for watching, I hope you've enjoyed it, I hope it's been helpful, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. See ya.